Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, January 22nd, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. The big broker Willis and the small independent broker Miller is based in London, have sealed a long-rumored agreement for Willis to take an 85% stake in Miller. Nobody has disclosed the consideration yet or the amount that Willis has paid. Apparently, the way the deal is going to occur is that Willis is going to become a corporate member in Miller Insurance Services, taking an 85% stake in the company, and with the remaining 15% held by Miller's existing partners, that's going to be transferred to new generations into perpetuity. Much of Willis's wholesale broking business will transfer immediately into Miller, which will continue to operate under its brand name. And much of Miller's treaty reinsurance business, UK corporate client and financial institution business is going to head to Willis. The transaction is going to close in the second quarter. Well, any second now, the European Central Bank is going to announce its plans for quantitative easing. Just about half an hour ago, they left their benchmark interest rate unchanged and said that further monetary policy measures are going to be coming out later in the morning Eastern time. The much anticipated program is going to be a response to the prolonged, worrisome low inflation rate in the 19 countries of the Eurozone. The interesting thing here is that the European Central Bank is not like the American Federal Bank or the Federal Reserve, because the EU Bank, the ECB, which was established in 1998, has no federal asset that can be used to sell debt. It lacks a common debt security. Instead, the region has 19 different bond markets ranging from AAA Germany to junk bond rated Greece. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the European Bank does this. It could be an opportunity for a significant structural change in the European Union's financial system, bringing it one giant step closer to full financial integration. So hopefully Mario Draghi will be able to pull that feat off. Travelers insurance companies in the U.S., the only P&C market in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, said that fourth quarter profit advanced about 5.1%. And net income jumped up to about $1.04 billion, or $3.11 a share, from $2.70 a share a year earlier. CEO Jay Fishman has been targeting travelers' less profitable commercial clients for price increases. According to an analyst at Sandler O'Neill, the strategic decision to be disciplined with underwriting with respect to how they were increasing prices in recent years has paid off. Traveler stock has jumped about 24% in the past year through yesterday. Yesterday afternoon at about 4:30 in the afternoon, just as rush hour was occurring in New York City with people leaving, a huge fire ripped through an apartment building on the New Jersey side of the Hudson River, forced the evacuations of hundreds of people and sent large plumes of smoke up into the air. It was a 5-alarm fire. The fire occurred at a 408-unit apartment complex right on the Hudson River called the Avalon at Edgewater. It occurred in Edgewater, New Jersey. The fire was such that the fire department of New York even sent a firefighting boat across the river to assist. The units are actually fairly pricey. They run up to about $3,200 a month. So this will be a relatively substantial loss when it comes in. Another major fire at the site some 15 years ago engulfed an apartment complex that was under construction, which was valued then at $70 million. So this is going to be much more valuable. Evacuations are underway in Ketchikan, Alaska, down the southeastern part of the state near Juneau, where heavier than usual rainfall combined with an extremely high tide has forced evacuation measures. Ketchikan yesterday received 7 inches of rain in 24 hours. Its reputation as a rain-soaked area is well established anyway. They get an annual average of about 141 inches of rain. Somebody from the National Weather Service said that heavier than usual rainfall says quite a bit for Ketchikan, and this is what they had here. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau is calling for expressions of interest from contractors to lift up and salvage the missing Malaysian Flight 370 from the bottom of the Indian Ocean if and when it is found. The Australians say they want to be prepared. The expressions of interest are due by the 18th of February. The government will then draw up a short list. A final decision will be made jointly by the Australian, Malaysian, and Chinese governments. The Chinese had most of the passengers on the plane. There really only are a couple of possible ships. France's Alcatel-Lucent operates the Ile-de-Seine, a salvage ship which can drop cables to a depth of some 6,000 meters and lift up to 10 tons at a time. A U.S. Navy contractor, Phoenix International, has the Remora 6000 robot, which lifted the Air France jetliner that crashed in the South Atlantic 3 years ago. The Dutch engineering firm Fugro is carrying out the current search for the plane. And here's an inventive thing. You wonder why this hasn't happened, but then perhaps it has. Police in a Mexican border city said yesterday that a drone overloaded with illicit methamphetamine crashed into a supermarket parking lot just on the Mexican side of the border with the U.S. Tijuana police said that they were alerted after the drone fell Tuesday night near the San Ysidro border crossing with California. 6 packets of the drug, weighing more than 6 pounds, were taped to the 6-propeller remote-controlled aircraft. Mexican said it was not the first time they had seen drones used for smuggling drops across the border. Other innovative efforts have included catapults and ultralight aircraft. Interesting. We're keeping our eyes on Davos, where Mario Draghi, I believe, actually is now at that World Economic Forum, and we'll see how far he can go with some structural reform. This is an opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, to get the house in order. Thanks for watching. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, we'll see you tomorrow.